Live from the Washington, D.C. area, it's the Inside Scoop. All the news that our viewers want to know. Now, here's the host.
Welcome to Inside Scoop. I'm your host, Catherine Reed, and tonight is a special edition of Inside Scoop. We have a very special treat for you. Joining me here tonight is David L. Reynolds, Jr., who is the founder and the executive director of the Vienna Jammers. Now, those of you in the Fairfax County area may have seen this fabulous ensemble perform before. We've got two of their 5 ensembles here with us tonight, the Red Ensemble and the Black Ensemble. And tell us, Dave, about the ages of each of these groups, both the Red and the Black.
Jammers Red is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th graders, and Jammers Black is 5th and 6th graders, representing about 20 different schools in the Vienna, Virginia area.
Well, I tell you, hang on to your seats because this is a performance like none other that you've ever seen.
So first thing we're going to do is we're going to introduce you guys to a song that we have been playing ever since I started the Jammers way back in 2005. And this song is called The Groove. And The Groove is a great example of what the marimba music is all about. It's 3 different parts that get put together. And so we're going to show you each part, and then we're going to let our conductor Rishi show you how it all goes together in his mind. He's going to conduct it for us. So let's share the groove first. You guys ready? Just the groove. 1, 2, ready, and... chunk part. So let's play the chunk part. No basses. 1, 2, ready, go. And the third part is called the waterfall, and it starts with rests and then it does a little tiny movement. Let's listen to that. You ready? 1, 2, here we go, and rest, 2, 3. Rest, 2, 3. So now we're going to give Rishi total control to conduct the entire ensemble. Rishi, take it away.
3, 2, 1, go.
is some energy there, Keith, isn't it?
It sure is.
So joining me on set is Keith Tylecki. His son Andrew is one of the Red Jammers that we see here in this room playing so energetically. So tell me a little bit about how Vienna Jammers came to be on your radar.
Well, first of all, Catherine, thank you so much for having us on the show and giving the Jammers a chance to kind of get their message out there even more. I don't know that there's anybody in Vienna that doesn't know who the Jammers are. If you're in any elementary school, they're just out there because of the amazing music that they play. So naturally, Andrew, from the first day he could have the chance to try out, he wanted to try out. And as a second grader, he's one of the youngest children in the Jammers this year, and it's been an outstanding experience for him.
So this is a very different kind of thing, unlike a sports team, for instance, where kids learn how to be on a team and to be in a group. This experience of playing percussion music, very different.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we live in such a busy competitive society. We compete for everything, our parking spots, our places online. We're constantly bombarded with information from our cell phones and whatnot. And showing up at the Jammers, it's a place where kids can just all be a part of something greater than themselves. Together, the music that they produce is greater than anything as an individual they could create on their own. And quite frankly, we don't have enough opportunities like this today to do things. It really is a community experience. I equate it to almost bowling back in the day for us older folks.
Right.
Right. It's a new way to just really get out there and have an amazing experience with your friends.
So the other thing that's interesting too is that it's not required for them to read music. Obviously, they're not reading any music as they're playing here tonight. So there's a whole different skill set, and it's unique to percussion.
Right. Well, on one aspect, like you see them playing now, the motor skills are incredible for these young kids. From a development perspective, the way it just kind of primes their brain. My son will come home and be playing these random beats going CGB, AC, and it's amazing just to see his brain firing that way. So from a learning perspective, the benefits of music in Vienna Elementary School and the program like the Jammers is just amazing. And you could see the results from a development perspective, the benefits that being a part of a music group has.
I can imagine so, and I'm sure for the kids just performing, we're very excited to be here tonight, and they perform quite a bit out in public, big venues, small venues, all kinds of venues. Yes. So that's a whole different skill set too.
Absolutely. They actually played at Jamming Java, one of their shows, and it was just an amazing experience for the kids just to have a chance to perform in front of other people and really feel the energy that they give off. I remember the first time I saw the Jammers. I had just gotten back from serving a year in Iraq, and it was a difficult time away from my family, and they were playing at Viva Vienna. And they performed a song by Gautier called Somebody That I Used to Know. And I was sitting there with my daughter, and all of a sudden to hear this song played by the Jammers, like I never cry.
Right.
And I lost it. Like I was just sobbing, and my daughter kind of looked up at me and was like, Dad, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. But it's the energy and the magic and the ability that this music has to connect with other people that I think just speaks for yourself. And they were just playing Roar a minute ago, and
right.
to hear a Katy Perry song played by young children, it's magical, quite frankly.
It is, and people recognize it too. Like there's this sense where you hear the song, you're like, I know that song. Even without any other instruments, even without a vocalist, you can tell exactly what they're playing. And so can they.
Absolutely.
But isn't it astonishing to you that they can remember all of this? Like you go from one song to another song, and without sheet music or anything else, they're able to recall and remember with precision every movement.
Yes. It is, having played some music myself, it is a very creative approach to teaching. You could sit down and learn how to read music and learn how to play piano in a very strict Suzuki framework, but the way Mr. Reynolds teaches, it's just creative. Not only will my son come home, but he'll sit on my daughter's piano and he'll just start. I have videos of him at age 7 creating his own songs and naming them. And to see kids develop a creative process at such a young age when schools are constantly pushing for metrics and tests and standards, the benefits are just off the charts.
Well, I'm so glad that your son is in this ensemble. I'm glad that you joined us to talk about what you have gotten out of it, what he's gotten out of it, and what you think the impact is on the community, because I agree with you at every level. Having such a unique group benefits everyone. So thank you so much for joining us, Keith.
No problem. Thank you very much, Catherine, for having us.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, "Read your lease. No pets allowed." My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
So how was work?
It was 1,300 hours. My math class from 302 was in the trenches. Davy Roth had it the worst. Fractions were coming at him left and right. He just didn't get the damn things. 2 days ago, I tried to teach him what 1/4 of 1/2 was using different sizes of blocks. Yesterday, I tried again by dividing a pizza. Both missions failed.
Oh no.
But today, I was ready. I created a combat math game where the only way to beat the enemy is to out-fraction them. Davy conquered every last denominator. My game was so successful, the principal is deploying it to math squadrons all over the school. Anywho, how was your day?
Oh, today my boss treated the office to salad wraps.
Salad wraps.
I know.
This piece is entitled Ocean Layers. It's time to dive deep into the ocean layers. 1, 2, ready, go.
joining me in studio is Jessica Plowgen. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having us and giving us this opportunity.
And your daughter Lily is in this group, performing right now.
Yes, she is, and she was so excited to be here tonight. They were all just over the moon at the idea that they were going to be on television. I still remember the day I picked them up from carpool, and Lily and one of her friends got in the car and they said, "You're never going to believe it. We're going to be TV stars."
There you go, and so they are.
Now they are, so it's an exciting day.
So tell me how Lily came to be interested. Now she's in 3rd grade.
Yes, correct.
How she came to be interested in being a jammer.
Yes, well, you know, we were fortunate enough to have Dave Reynolds as our music teacher at Vienna Elementary, and so we were exposed to the Jammers through that. But what really solidified her interest in Jammers was seeing the Jammers at the Halloween parade. The Vienna Halloween parade is a very big deal, as I'm sure you know.
Oh, absolutely.
And she saw that float coming down the street and the crowds going wild for the group performing, and the kids were just clearly having such a good time and loving every minute of what they were doing that she turned to me and she's like, "Mom, we have to do this." And so she had me, you know, at my computer the day that the camp registrations opened up so that she could sign up and try and be a part of it. And she's loved every minute of it. You know, we've been at rehearsals twice a week for the last 2 years, and every single time she comes home from practice, she's excited about it and is loving it.
So she ended up signing up for the summer camp. Was that between 1st and 2nd grade?
Yes, between 1st and 2nd grade. That's correct.
Because Keith had mentioned, you know, that you need a certain amount of motor skill and coordination and everything, and so 2nd grade is pretty young.
You do, you know, and it's amazing. I mean, Dave is a really gifted teacher, and it's amazing how quickly they pick it up because they start out the camp, and you don't have to have any skills coming into the camp. He really just teaches everything as they go along, and they are very capable of picking it up and learning the music and the notes, and it's just fascinating to watch how quickly it comes together.
And so they enjoy, I'm sure, performing on television, which is something new tonight, but they also take trips out of state.
They do. Last year they had a wonderful opportunity to go up to Atlantic City. So we got on a bus bright and early in the morning and drove up to Atlantic City and performed for a group of music educators, which was obviously a very welcoming audience for them to perform for. And the kids were just blown away by kind of the warm reception that they had there, and they really loved, you know, getting on the bus and heading out of state. And all week long they were all telling, you know, all of their friends, "Well, we're going to Atlantic City this weekend for a gig." And they were all really excited about it. And it was just a wonderful opportunity to, you know, kind of further spread the message about what a wonderful organization this is and to show off how impressive their skills are. I mean, it really is amazing, you know, that they're able to take this group of kids and bring them all together and teach these really complicated songs and have them perform so well. And they love having an audience. And so we had a great audience. They were kind of playing in an atrium. And so people were coming back from their lunch break as they were performing and kind of leaning over the balcony and listening to the music. And it was just a really, really great experience for them.
Well, you know, and that's the thing about anybody who performs, because the thing about being a performer is wanting the audience. I mean, it's actually a shared partnership when you're an artist. I was in theater, and we would talk about the audience. It was a dead audience, or because the audience has to work with you. So when you're performing and you know that people are paying attention, they're tapping their foot, they're looking at you, you're engaged with them because you're experiencing the music as both the person performing it and the person listening to it.
Yes, absolutely. And Dave talks to the group a lot about making sure that they have good stage presence and making sure that they're kind of giving the audience the best performance that they can, and they absolutely feed off that energy they get from the group. I think Keith might have mentioned the Jam and Java performance that the kids do every year, and that one is so much fun because it's a really intimate performance space, and the kids, you know, in the room, it's sold out the last 2 years, which the kids are very proud of, as they should be. And they see how excited everyone is to be there, and the room is just filled with a lot of energy, and the kids feed off of that. It ends up being a really great night.
Well, I think it's fantastic that this started in Vienna, but I think Dave has mentioned that it's now spread beyond the borders of Vienna.
Absolutely.
And other kids, and I'm assuming some of them probably come through the summer camp program.
Absolutely. And, you know, word spreads very quickly, especially in this day and age with all the social media, and people, you know, let their friends know about it. People see them perform at Wolf Trap. They always do a performance there in the fall, and so with word of mouth, the organization's reach is really spreading, and it continues to do that, especially as we look at doing performances in other locations in DC or in Maryland, Virginia, and even further beyond. You know, more and more people are excited about trying to be a part of it.
And I'm sure you're also looking for sponsors to help fund all of these
Absolutely.
expeditions and trips and that sort of thing as well.
Yes, it takes a lot of money to, it is a nonprofit organization, and so the parents who are involved, they pay a certain amount of money to go toward offsetting some of the costs for the rent of the space that the Jammers perform in, but there are a lot of additional costs that aren't covered by what the parents are paying, and especially, as you mentioned, those trips are certainly something that require an investment. And every time we go anywhere, like even for tonight, they have to rent a truck to transport the instruments, and we have a lot of amazing parent volunteers who dedicate a lot of time and energy to the group, but it also takes a lot of money to do a lot of these excursions that we're hoping to do in the future years.
Well, this is definitely a family project in that the whole family, whether it's your child performing or the ones at home or everybody else who has to make this possible. So thank you so much for being here, Jessica.
Oh, thank
I really
you so much for having us. We enjoyed it.
Click. Da da da.
Thanks for joining us for this special edition of Inside Scoop. Please stay tuned and join us after this break.
For all the papas out there, let's stop what we're doing and take a moment to be with our kids. They can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments. It doesn't really matter. Every time dads take a moment to be with their kids, it's pretty momentous. So let's all take a moment to make a moment today.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
When it comes to saving money,
What? Parents!
don't act like a baby.
Oh, it's like they're having their own little meeting. This is so humiliating.
Be the boss.
I'm the boss.
What the?
Power nap. You were saying.
And make a budget.
Let's get to work.
Need a little help?
Stacy, read back the notes.
I can't read. What's it say?
Create a personalized savings plan and get other tools and tips
We can share.
You obviously didn't go to business school.
at feedthepig.org.
1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, go.
Lucas, dun 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 dun. I think that one's like whichever one. Oh, hi,
So welcome back, and joining me are two musicians from the Red Ensemble. We have Jaden, who is in second grade at Westbriar Elementary, and we have Piper, who is in the second grade at Vienna Elementary. So tell me, each of you, you were saying that your mom found out about this. Tell me about what Experience Camp was like over the summer.
So Experience Camp is basically the thing on how you get into Jammers. So you play one song, and for the whole week, you're just focusing on that one song. And you have 3 different instruments, the drum set, the marimba, and the hand drums. And you have one song for each of those. And the people that play the song the best will be asked to join in. And they can either choose to go in or stay out. And I choose to go in.
So this has been your first year playing, because you're about to wrap up the year
We're about
at school.
to wrap up at May, and if Mr. Lee lets me, we're allowed to come in next year without Experience Camp. So.
That's fantastic. And how about you, Piper? So you found out about Experience Camp too?
Yes. So my mom put me in, and I had so much fun. I was so good. There's this thing called the Slurpee Day, and I got a Slurpee because if you do the best on the hand drums, the drums, or the marimbas, you get a Slurpee. I got one.
So clearly both of you enjoy performing. So what is your favorite song, Jaden? What is the favorite song, your favorite song you like to perform?
That we have recently been working on.
Hard, huh?
Wait, hold on.
It's not hard for me.
So it has to be.
Well, You think. Piper, what is your favorite song while you're thinking?
Llamas versus Emojis Part 2 Worlds Collide.
Wow.
So I have 2 songs.
Okay, tell me.
Llamas and Emojis Part 2 Worlds Collide and Groove. Both of those I play the drum set and it's...
You really enjoy that, right? And this is kind of a great experience too, because you're not just playing the instrument. You guys actually have moves. Like you break out some moves performing this. Is that hard to learn?
No. No, so it's called Toto Poop, which is enthusiasm. So like all he does, he says like when we're not being enthusiasm, he says Toto Poop. Because enthusiasm will something look like a total pooping, and then someone just like
right. So it just means up your energy. Yeah, right.
Like, so like enthusiastic, like move the belly, just move and like jump.
So you're both looking forward to coming back next year, then?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so you're going to be performing at Viva Vienna?
Yeah.
Well, we've already done that, but yeah. Oh, no, we haven't.
It's on Memorial Day.
It's on Memorial Day, and then you've probably got things coming up in the fall when you get back to school, right?
Yes.
And will you be practicing over the summer?
Yeah, so technically it starts like late spring. So like at the beginning of summer, and then
Okay, great. And so you were saying that you had to make a choice between the Jammers and dance, but actually this kind of is a combination, a little bit of both, right? Because you do get to like have some moves, learn some choreography, while you're also learning to play your instruments. And what is your favorite instrument to play, Piper?
I would probably say the marimbas.
The marimba? And how about you, Jake?
So like in the whole world or just in Jammers?
Just in Jammers. But then you can tell us what in the whole world.
No, in the whole world it's percussion.
Percussion, okay.
In Jammers it's drum sets and marimbas. It's so hard in Jammers because so you can't just have one voice.
Well, I think that's great. And so, you know, in a few more years, once you're in the, let's see, 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade, once you're in the 5th grade, you'll be in the black ensemble, is that right?
Yeah. When you're in 5th grade and 6th grade, you will.
All right. So in 5th and 6th grade, you will be in the black ensemble, which are the people who are playing right now in the studio.
Yes, right there.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being with us today and explaining what it is that you love about the Vienna Jammers. And we hope to see you back maybe for another show next year. Would you like that?
Yeah. Yes.
I would like that.
I wanna.
You want to perform? Well, we're going to give you a way to perform. Thank you both so much for being here on Inside Scoop tonight.
You're welcome.
Here comes the Heffley family.
Whether it's a short trip or a long haul,
estimated time 47 hours.
they will beg,
You're hungry? I'm happy to provide.
they will plead.
Deep fried butter on a stick.
But whatever you do, don't wimp out.
Now you're talking.
Make them buckle up.
He can't hurt.
Remember, safety first. Cheese curls second.
Are you orange? This piece is entitled Peanut Butter Decision, The Great Debate. And the question, of course, is which peanut butter is better, Jif or Skippy?
But what about Peter Pan?
Welcome, Tema Galt, to Inside Scoop. Your son is one of the musicians we're watching perform here. Bridger is in the 4th grade.
He is. He's in the 4th grade. No, he's in the 5th grade.
He's in the 5th
been
grade.
with the Jammers for 4 years.
So tell us a little bit about what it's been like to do this for 4 years. I mean, you've been to a lot of performances and a lot of practices.
We've been to a lot of performances and practices. I think it's been an amazing experience for Bridger these past 4 years. It's almost like he's become part of a family, a Jammers family that we've gotten to know. And it's, you know, like a family, they have roles, and he's learned a lot of invaluable skills within his Jammers family.
So how did he start out? What was his journey into the Jammers? And clearly having stayed 4 years is a statement.
So Bridger has kind of a cool story. We learned about the Jammers when I was pregnant, and my husband and I were watching the Vienna Halloween parade, and we both saw it, and we're just like, that is magic right there. What they are creating, what those kids have is magic. And we then started taking Bridger to the Halloween parade, and he naturally fell in love with the magic that they were creating. And like all the other Jammers, he went through the experience camp and, you know, fell in love with the magic and has been a part of the group ever since 2nd grade. So.
You know, and you were talking before we started this interview about the fact that you follow the smiles. I just love this concept of following the smiles.
We do. That's my motto with my kids. I follow the smiles. And we do. And Jammers is something that produces smiles. Going to practice, Bridger always smiles. Coming home from practice, he always smiles. You look around the rehearsal room, all of the kids are smiling. You go to the performances, the audiences are smiling. They just have this energy and this magic that creates this joy that creates these smiles. And so that's what we've been doing for 4 years, is following the smiles.
And I think that's a great way of explaining, unlike kids who are reluctant to practice the piano or do the thing that they need to do, you know, these kids seem to be all in. You were talking about picking them up at the end of practice and the amount of noise in the room.
Yeah, it's the amount of noise in the room is, there's a lot of noise in the room, but they just have a passion for it, and they have just this energy that Dave is able to harness and focus and cultivate and create these joyful experiences for these kids and these smiles that they carry with them.
So they play a variety of different venues. Some earlier parents had said that they love the intimacy of the Jam and Java event, but there are some regular events throughout the year.
There are. They play, in addition to the Jam and Java event, they play annually in the fall at Wolf Trap at I believe it's called Movement with Music. They play that every fall at Wolf Trap, and in addition they have a culminating performance called the Big Jam. And that's usually right around Mother's Day, early May, where all of the groups perform and you get to see what they've been working on all year long. And it's a great, great place where all of the kids are showcased. And it's magic in that auditorium.
And of course, everybody talks about the Vienna Halloween Parade, which is clearly how they do their advertising. Just one parade a year, and you've got all of the musicians you need for the however many upcoming years. Just take your kids to the Vienna Halloween Parade.
It is. It's. I mean, I don't even think they're trying to advertise. I think just by virtue of being there and doing what they do and sharing the magic that they create, to see it is impactful.
So Bridger's in the 5th grade, which means that he'll be another year in the Black Ensemble.
He will have another opportunity to perform next year, yeah.
And then the other 3 ensembles are the older kids, and those are.
So the next ensemble is the older kids, 7th through high school age, is an ensemble called Steel Ensemble, where they play with steel pans. So the 3 ages are 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade is red, 5th and 6th grade is black, and then 7th grade through high school is steel. And then Dave has 2 other groups that I'm less familiar with that are also the younger age group in the elementary school age.
So there's an opportunity for as long as Bridger wants to be involved, like the whole family is in.
There is, and I think this year was the first year they graduated their first senior. So someone who started in 2nd and went all the way through their senior year of high school, which was pretty special.
That is special, and I do think that a lot of this is Dave Reynolds. I mean,
He has a gift. He has a gift for taking these kids, taking their energy and their ability as musicians and being able to get them to focus their energy and their passion and create this magic with them. It's amazing.
And you were talking too about the fact that your son, who has drumstick pencils has now gotten his homework includes music.
Yes, it does. He's constantly tapping, constantly embracing music, constantly integrating it into his life. So the gift that he's taken away from Jammers is invaluable and timeless, really.
Well, this is very exciting, and I hope that we see Bridger the next time. I've practically promised Jaden that we're going to do this next year, so I look forward to seeing these kids come back again. And thank you so much for being here and for sharing some of your insight.
Thank you. It's a great experience for the kids, and I hope everybody gets to enjoy following the smiles. It's really magic.
I love that, following the smiles.
Yeah.
2, ready, and.
So joining me in this segment is Leslie Lang. Her daughter Greta is playing in the Black Ensemble.
Yes.
And she is she's not just a percussionist, she's a drummer.
Mm-hmm. She's a drummer. Yeah, so the way we came into the Vienna Jammers was Greta had been playing the drums for a couple of years, and we started looking for opportunities for her over the summer, and what we found was that all of the percussion opportunities were aimed at high schoolers who were in the marching band. So she was far too young for that. So internet searches brought up the Vienna Jammers, and we enjoyed their videos on YouTube, and she was really excited to find it. So we brought her to experience camp, and we thought it would be the end of it after 1 week. We thought 1 week we can handle the drive out to
from
Vienna.
Gainesville.
Yes, from Gainesville. So, but something awesome happened that week. Greta just fell in love with it. I found it to be such a great experience for her. My husband and I thought that it was a good way to help her along in her experience as a drummer. So when Dave asked her to keep on, we decided to go for it.
But that is real commitment, honestly. I mean, the traffic, everybody's thinking Gainesville to Vienna. That is on a good day, that's not a good commute.
Yeah.
But you're doing this twice a week for practices.
Yeah, we do it twice a week. Greta gets out of school just a little tiny bit early. Her school was happy to do that so she could have this experience. And Greta's my third child, and so I actually enjoy the private time with her, like a little bit of just mother-daughter time on the way. On the way home.
Find that silver
It's a
lining.
great, yeah,
Find
exactly.
that silver lining.
And we have found too that working with Dave has been just really a privilege, because he has this great combination of fun and positivity, but also he teaches with such discipline that I think that's really hard to find in arts education. So we were really happy to stick with it. It's been a great experience.
Well, considering the things that they do on an annual basis, you said that Greta has done them all. She was at Wolf Trap, she was at Jam and Java, she was at the Big Jam, and here they are in a television studio. And I have to say, for the number of kids that we've had here, this has been excellent. They know exactly how to be in the television studio and to perform like professionals.
Yeah, that comes again with the discipline that he instills in the kids. They have an understanding of what's expected of them, but they also know that they can have a good time and enjoy themselves, and especially through the music. As soon as they start playing, you can tell they're having a blast, everybody is enjoying it, they enjoy every practice. All the other parents have said the same thing. It's no different for us. They get back in the car and it's like, it was a great experience, so they never miss going to practice. Yes.
I just think it's so unusual. This has been sort of a whole percussion group of this kind. I know that Dave has said to me that there's another one in Kentucky, and he actually went and visited that director. But for Virginia, for Northern Virginia, I have never run into any group remotely like this. So it's very unusual. You just stumbled into something.
Yeah, it is, and that's why we've stuck with it. It's definitely a unique experience, and I think a lot of that rests in Dave's instruction. He's a great teacher. Greta has really improved. Her ability to collaborate has improved. Her timing with her drumming has improved. She plays the drums with a little band, and everything has improved. She really has loved it. And now she has a new love for the marimba, which she would never have had before.
Right, because she's a drummer, and she probably would have said, I'm a drummer, but now she's not just a drummer, she's a marimba player.
That's right. And the tambourine and the hand drums. She's had a lot of opportunities in this group.
You know, the other thing that is unique about this to me, too, is that the kids have moves. There's choreography to their performance. It's not just playing the instruments. They actually are telling a story. There's sort of a narrative. There's choreography. Has that been exciting for Greta?
She loves that. My other daughters are dancers. She started out with just dance because that's what her sisters did, and so she definitely loves the ability to move and kind of express herself while she's playing. That's a great aspect of it. Yeah.
Right, which you wouldn't be able to do if you were just a drummer, right?
Right. Got to sit back there and keep the time.
That's right. So this is, like I said, I think this is so unique, and I think it's wonderful that you are so committed to Greta's being part of this very unique ensemble.
Oh, thank you.
And I know that Dave has very big plans. You know, he would love to go on much bigger trips to faraway places. So, and I hope that, you know, our viewers will take an interest in helping to figure out how the community can collaborate to figure out how to fund this, because I do think this is a gem in the crown of Northern Virginia.
I agree.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you sharing Greta with us tonight and for making the long drive from Gainesville.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for joining us on Inside Scoop's special edition featuring the Vienna Jammers, headed by David L. Reynolds, Jr.